This story happened to me earlier this year. I haven't told anyone in real life, not friends and not family, because honestly, they'd either think I was insane or desperate, and maybe I was both. I live in El Paso, Texas. I'm 29 years old. I have a good paying job. I live alone, and I keep to myself. It's a simple life, except when it comes to dating. And if you're a normal, average guy like me living in America right now, you already know what I'm talking about. The dating scene? It's a rigged game. If you're not 6 feet tall, handsome, or stacking over 200 grand a year, you're not even in the game. I tried everything. Tinder, Bumble, even speed dating at bars downtown. Nothing, not even rejections, just pure invisibility. And eventually that kind of silence eats away at you. You start asking yourself, is it me, or is it the system? That's when I started going online, digging into forums, podcasts, and videos, and I stumbled into something called Geomaxxing. Guys traveling overseas, Colombia, Thailand, places where apparently dating is still fair for average guys, where women actually acknowledge you. Then I found a thread, a deep thread, on a now deleted Reddit page. It talked about Juarez, a city just 15 minutes from where I live, right across the border. I thought I had it figured out. Why fly 5,000 miles and blow thousands of dollars on airfare and hotels when I could just drive 15 minutes down the road and get the same results? It felt like a shortcut to everything those guys were chasing. No jet lag, no airport lines, just a little courage, and maybe $100 cash. But that was mistake number one. I didn't do my research. What I didn't know, what I should have known, was that Juarez isn't just some hidden gem. It's one of the most dangerous cities not just in Mexico, but it's one of the most dangerous cities in the world. Cartel turf wars, kidnappings, extortion rings that specialize in targeting Americans who think they're above the system like myself. And not only was I going into Juarez, not only was I going to a non-tourist area, but I was headed into the deep part of the city, the kind of area locals themselves avoid after dark. This is how naive and dumb I was. It was a Saturday night. It was 9:30 p.m. Crossing in was too easy. No inspection, no questions, just a green light and a wave. And then, the change hit instantly. The difference between El Paso and Juarez? Let me give you an analogy. Imagine you're driving through Beverly Hills, palm trees, smooth pavement, sprinklers watering perfect lawns. You pass a yoga studio, a school zone sign, maybe a cop sipping coffee in a parking lot. Then you turn the corner, and suddenly, you're in the worst block of the west side of Chicago at 3 a.m. I'm talking boarded up buildings, no streetlights, men watching you from rooftops, stray dogs roaming in packs, and not a single cop in sight. That's what crossing into Juarez feels like. It doesn't ease you in. It throws you in. The second I got into Juarez, it felt like someone dimmed the lights on the entire world. The road became narrow and cracked, like it hadn't been repaired in years. No lane dividers, no reflectors, just dirt shoulders and sunken curbs. Power lines drooped down, sagging like spider webs just above the windshield. A few were tied together with wire or duct tape. I swear to God I saw one patched up with a sock. There were no sidewalks, just rocks, drainage ditches, and occasional concrete slabs. On the side of the road, makeshift shacks stood where businesses should have been. Tire shops without names, gas stations without roofs. People sitting in the dark, smoking, staring. Faces half lit by cell phone screens or the glow of a TV playing behind iron bars. No one smiled, no one waved. Instead of walking across the bridge like every cautious gringo does, I had what I thought was a smart idea. I drove across the border with my personal car. That was mistake number two. When you drive into Juarez, you're not just crossing a border. You're bringing your identity with you, your car model, your license plate number, your behavior behind the wheel. I drove deeper. The outskirts felt like a scrapyard, burned out cars, trash piles, graffiti that didn't look like art, just names. My phone had no service. Google Maps kept rerouting or freezing, and the signs were all in Spanish, badly faded and half covered in stickers. That's when I made mistake number 3. I stopped driving. I parked at a random intersection. 2 dead-end roads surrounded by cinder block homes, tin roofs, and the occasional sound of dogs barking in the distance. But why did I stop? Because according to that Reddit thread, this was one of the zones, a known streetwalker zone. A few guys had posted photos, said it was discreet, quiet, and off the radar. Yeah, no shit, it was quiet. It was too quiet. I turned off my headlights and waited. Tried to act like I was just a local waiting for someone, but I could feel it. Eyes watching me. From behind curtains, from rooftops, from parked cars that hadn't moved in days. Then I saw a girl, petite, in heels, standing by herself at the corner. She looked to be in her mid-20s, maybe younger. I made eye contact. She nodded once, didn't smile, just nodded, then motioned with her hand. But I hesitated, because standing across the street was a man in a tracksuit, tatted hands, leaning against a wall with his arms crossed. He didn't blink, didn't move, just stared. Then, out of the corner of my eye, another man approached from behind a building. He was wearing a black shirt, black jeans, no mask, just a cigarette and a long, cold stare. And he was walking straight toward me. That was the moment I realized, this isn't a playground. This isn't some cheap escape from American loneliness. This is cartel country, and I just marked myself. I put the car in drive, didn't even check my mirrors, but before I even hit the gas, there were headlights. 2 of them, coming from opposite directions. 2 pickup trucks turned onto the street, one in front of me, one behind, both crawling slow. Too slow. Their engines rumbled deep, like wolves circling. Both had raised suspensions, busted grills, and a heavy tint on the windows. One had a light bar across the top, the other had no plates. And just like that, I was boxed in. The street was barely wide enough for one vehicle to pass. Calle Magnesio, no sidewalks, no exits, just a straight shot lined with crumbling walls and steel gates. And me, right in the center, like bait. I felt it in my gut. This wasn't coincidence, this was a setup. One of the trucks inched closer. The driver flashed his high beams, blinding, aggressive. The second truck behind me hit a sharp turn and blocked off the exit. Hood angled across the street. That's when I saw it. A man in the bed of the front truck, standing. He had something slung across his chest. I couldn't see it clearly, too far, too dark, but the silhouette was unmistakable. It was a rifle. He just stood there. No yelling, no threats, just watching, waiting, like they were trying to figure out what kind of guy I was. Was I carrying cash? Was I stupid enough to get out? Was I armed? Or just another soft gringo about to learn a lesson? I panicked, threw the car into reverse, but the second truck behind me revved forward, lunged at me like a dog. I slammed the brakes. My hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped the gear shift. I looked left, no alley, just a solid wall, right? Chain link fence, barbed wire, and someone's backyard with a dog barking like crazy. No way out. Then, out of nowhere, one of the trucks did something weird. The high beams turned off. The truck reversed slowly. The other one behind me, it stayed put, still blocking the way. It felt like a test, like they wanted to see what I'd do. I didn't wait. I floored it forward, straight at the reversing truck. I didn't care if they opened fire. I swerved, clipped a curb, and grazed a garbage can so hard it bounced off my side mirror. But I made it past. I didn't stop, didn't look back. I just drove. Every turn I made felt like I was being followed. I took a winding path, no GPS, just instinct, until I saw the glowing green sign for the Paso del Norte International Bridge. Home. I rolled up to the U.S. border checkpoint, sweating, pupils blown wide. The Border Patrol guy took one look at me and raised an eyebrow. "You all right, man?" I nodded, didn't say a word, just let the weight of what almost happened sit on my shoulders. And when I got home that night, I locked every door, I unplugged my phone, and I didn't sleep till sunrise. For those of you thinking about going to another country to get lucky, especially Mexico, understand this: you're not just crossing a border, you're entering someone else's world. No backup, no rescue, no law, and no one coming to save you if things go wrong. Be careful.